All right, welcome back, everybody, to another day of the BSL, but not just any day. It's the round of 8. So we have the semifinals. We crowned we have the quarterfinals. We crowned 2 of our semifinalists yesterday in what were some amazing games where they went all the way, best of 5 series, all the way to game 5 for both of them. They were sick. Really, really exciting. And so we're going to have a lot of Zergs in the semifinals, but now we have a chance to see if maybe there will be another race represented there tonight. We've got some amazing players playing Nyokin. What do you think about our matchups this evening?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty sick. We got Father Bonyth going up against one of the all-stars at NA, Ty2, who's very deadly, very sneaky, just like Terror. And then in the other group, we have Babo and Eonzerg. See if Eonzerg can redeem himself from last season. And Bonyth is the only Protoss in this tournament, so if he goes out, it's just going to be a Zerg and Terran fiesta.
Yeah, nobody wants to watch that. We did watch some epic ZVTs yesterday, so honestly, I would not mind watching more ZVTs because those were so good. The problem is that Bonyth has to win everything, so you know it's a problem for every other race out there. And being a little bit sarcastic, but not very, because he just won Corrupted Cup, and did he lose a game? I think he dropped 2 games, one to Hawk, I want to say, and then another one to Kogut, I think as well. So yeah, he almost perfect gamed Corrupted Cup, and like nobody does that. So it's gonna be exciting to watch him play here today, because we get a chance to see what like Father Bonyth looks like when he's in peak condition.
Yeah, and what I'm most excited about is the maps in our first series, because I didn't think I'd see the day where not only are we getting Oxide, but if we look at the bans, Power Bond ban. Is that possible that just happened? We have a Power Bond ban in the best of 5 in BSL?
Well, yes, but why? Why would you ban the best map in the tournament? Also, for some reason, because these guys are epic memers, they're starting out with game number 1 on Oxide. So either they've been looking at that map and they know some badass cheese, or they're just, man, I don't know. I remember watching, it was Kogut versus True Touch in Corrupted Cup, and they were not playing Starcraft. They were just memeing on each other. It was the stupidest games I've ever seen. They were doing dumbass builds that don't exist, they're not real, and they were just having fun. Now, obviously, Bonyth and Ty2 don't play each other quite as much, but, you know, Bonyth's got an experimental streak in him, and Ty2 is a god gamer, a memer for the ages. So I don't know what to expect again on this map, because it's only our second time seeing it in BSL.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Ty2 pulls out, because, as I was saying yesterday, generally the top player bans second. So that means that most likely Bonyth is the one that let Oxide go through. So I don't know. It's gonna be. I don't know what Ty2 has planned for this. Maybe he didn't even practice it. Maybe he's gonna actually be the one that's thrown off that Bonyth let it in.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine it doesn't throw off just everyone, because it is such a new kind of weird, wacky map. But if you've got a plan for it, now's the time. Terror brought out an 8 racks on that in his games yesterday, and I was like, okay, well, maybe that's what you do, right? You just rush on this map because it's new. But it didn't work out against his Zerg opponent there. So this time, we don't have any Terran players, so I don't know. Where do you put the gateways? Where do you proxy the hatch? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm excited to find out. So let's get into our first game of our first best of 5 of the day. This is going to decide our third player to make it to the semifinal of Corrupted Cup 7. So yeah, let's get into it. Our map is Oxide. Our players are Bonyth and Ty2. This is game number 1 of their best of 5. All right, welcome everybody. It's another day of BSL, and we're starting off with our first semifinal or quarterfinal matchup of the day. between this guy in the upper left-hand corner of the map, Oxide in the orange playing Zerg. From America, it's Ty2.
In the bottom right, you got the blue Protoss. It is Bonyth. Yeah, so we actually seen Bonyth play on this map a few times because he played in those ladder tournaments. I think he was actually the one to win those tournaments. Can't remember, but I do know we've seen a lot of PvZ specifically with Bonyth on here, and thought we were gonna have an expansion, but we're already going for some cheese. We got at least 1 gate, possibly 2 gate.
I'm hoping. Where's the second gateway? Man, there's nothing scarier than a Bonyth Zealot walking in your general direction. Like, these are some mean-mugging Zealots. Like, I actually like the gateway openers just in general, a lot more versus Zerg, because it puts on, like, a little bit more pressure. But, you know, like you said, this is not what we're going to see this time.
Yep, so we do have 1 gate so far. It was a 10 gate, so it's an economic gate. It's not something like Ariador was doing with the, or maybe it wasn't Ariador, maybe it was DN Max with the 9-9 gate. You have to wait and see, is it going to be gas? Second gate, Ty2, he's going for 12 hatch. And I really don't think that this initial pressure that Bonyth is going to put down is really going to do much, because Oxide, it's a diagonal map. Also, you got to factor in that he's got to go horizontal and then up through all these ramps. I just as an outsider looking at this, doesn't really seem like a good... Wait a minute, what's this? Ty2 in base hatch.
Yeah, no, so he's also got the drone blocking the ramp here as well. It gets the first 2 shots off on the probe, so it's not going to be able to come up, at least for now. So obviously that's maybe a little bit of a tell. He's dancing the probe outside the natural, because all of a sudden you got to think to yourself, wait a second, I don't know, he's blocking me, what's going on in there? Got to know it's either like some 1 base lurker build, or in this case it's the second hatchery in the main.
Yeah, if this was me playing Protoss and I saw this, I would assume that this is 1 base lurker, as you said. And what's Bonyth's response going to be? Because we see that it's an in-base hatch. I'm trying to think of what you would do with this. And Zerg versus Zerg, we know that generally this is like mass link. But look at how tiny the ramp is. You put 2 zealots there, how are mass links getting in? So unless Ty2 just blind thinks this is an expansion, because he's blind, right? I don't see what our build actually is. And he's going past 100 gas now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the mind game, right? If you do put 2 zealots on the ramp, then obviously you're not going to make it through. But maybe he's just hoping they aren't there. I don't know. We saw like some pretty rough bust attempts by, I think it was True Touch yesterday, and I was like, that's just not going to work. So maybe this is what's in store for us this time around. And hey, on the other side, if Ty2 does max out on Lings here, there's always a chance he just surrounds the zealots, kills them off, and runs across the map, and Bonyth has nothing, you know?
Well, Lings are now in... he goes down the ramp. I'm so shocked he didn't hold position with Lings, because he saw the zealots move out. Now we have 6 Lings versus 3 zealots and a probe. The 3 zealots will definitely win this fight. Ty2's got to be careful. Oh, he actually sneaks around.
Wait, yeah, why didn't he just concave at the top of the ramp, right? I mean, you deny vision, and now the zealots are concaving your own ramp against you.
He has no Lings in his main right now, so it's not like he has a big flank coming. He loses a Ling. Every Ling's so important. Okay, Bonyth loses the probe, but now we have 5 zealots at our base. If we don't have speed, we were rushing lair. Speed's pretty close, but this is a lot of potential damage that these zealots could put down.
Yeah, I mean, even if they just start like microing around the spawning pool, between the spawning pool and extractor, like that's rough. And there's no drill location here. He doesn't have vision of mineral patches anywhere. So, I mean, that Zerglings are going to keep popping out, but the Zealots are trading pretty well here. A couple of lost shields, maybe a couple of lost health here as well. Not the best way to fight these Zerglings. They're getting a lot of great surface area, but I mean, they're Zealots, so they stay alive for a long time. Picks off another one, just the emergency Zealot there, but the link count is so low at this point. Oh, especially when you're going for high tech, sucks to lose this many Zerglings, or just be forced to make this many Zerglings to stay alive.
Yeah, this is really good control from these Zealots. Of course, it's Bonyth, but he hasn't seen the Spire at the bottom, but he must anticipate this because he's got a Stargate going down in his main, and just constantly having to build these links is really detrimental to Ty2's play. Once the Spire finishes, will he even have Larva available to build him? Now Bonyth confirms there's a Spire, And his Stargate's already done. He can just build Dragoons, which he's already done.
He's also getting a Forge up at the same time, just in case he needs cannons, like in the main or on the Stargate against Scourge or something like that. But, like, Ty2 has no base. Like, he's one base in it right now, and sure, he's got a lot of larvae to work with, which is why he was able to build so many Zerglings to defend that aggression. But now he also just has no base, and so many of the Zerglings died. Like, good luck getting up a double Zealot wall.
Yeah, the Lings, how do they ever get up? Also with the Dragoon support behind it. And we have Sayers just going to be rallied to the gates, which are going to sync up with the Dragoons, going up against what's going to be 5-6 mutas. There's no way really Ty2 can make this work. You'd have to have some type of... I'm trying to imagine maybe he focus fires down the Zealots, gets all the Lings in, and then surrounds the Dragoons. But still, it's not an overwhelming amount of mutas. And Ty2's blind. If he built Scourge with this and chased the Sayers around, maybe he could bust through, but he's just building pure muta.
And Corsairs, of course, the natural enemy of the Mutalisk. And Bonyth knows he's one base in it, at least for all intents and purposes. So, I mean, this is the least scary 3 mutas I've ever seen.
Yeah, and the Sayers are just moving shot on the mutas, and they're already at half health. And with the mutas going down, we have Zealots on the ramp on hold position versus Lings.
Yeah, why would you stack your mutas in front of like 3 Corsairs like that when you A, don't have that many, and B, like you're not, like, the micro's not really helping you out all that much, because the Corsairs are just moving shotting you. So man, I really don't know. Either Lewis has something up his sleeves, but it's certainly not his armies.
Yeah, it's not working out this game. If we had Scourge, I think for sure this did have a chance if we busted down the Lings. But now that the Sayer counts at 4 and +1 weapons, about 80% done, going up against mutas that are +0. He just now started armor. The Sayers are just going to melt everything. And now Bonyth's decided that he's got enough that he's going to go to the low ground, and Probe coming down, he's going to expand. And we're going to have 2 base Protoss versus 1 base Zerg.
Sorry, I'm 2 for 2 so far. But I don't know if Bonyth or if Ty2 is going to be 1 for 0 as a way to start this off. That's my best segue attempt here. Because look at this, he's fighting clumped mutas into Corsairs. The Scourge lands, but it's like 1 Scourge. The Dragoons are not actually having that great a time against the Zerglings. There's just not enough Zerglings. So, I mean, there's some Zerglings going for a counterattack, but big surprise, there's 2 Zealots back at home. I thought they were actually just going to stand on the ramp just to guaranteed block it, but now the Zerglings are actually going to get into the main. What? Hello?
A nice counterattack from Ty2, but Bonyth already had a cannon in the main. That's really not going to let these Lings get much damage, and he's focusing down the pylon, but there's a second one, and he already has a sizable standing army, so the Lings really not going to do much. Meanwhile, Nexus going up. Ty2 going to try and transition out of this, but we got 4 Sayers +1, a lot of Zealots now, a lot of Dragoons, and Ty2's really doesn't have a lot of larvae available. Bonyth could really just walk across the map at this point.
Yeah, Ty2 has, I mean, he's got an army, but it's all stuff that Bonyth's army beats. The natural expansion is not even done yet, and he's already sending out another drone to make, I guess, a 3rd base here, but that is optimistic. So Bonyth's chilling at this point. You're right. He's got great upgrades, great unit composition, and his Corsairs are going to catch the mutas over here and probably be able to micro against the Scourge if they need to.
Well, here we go. Ty2's going to move in here. He doesn't have +1 armor just yet. He's got his eyes on the Nexus, but +1 is on the Sayers. This is an anti-timing for him. No armor yet.
He just tanks the Scourge, just doesn't even care. The mutas are going to do absolutely nothing. He splits the mutas here. That's kind of a concave I'd like to see actually fight, but you can't even do that because the Corsairs are just so strong right now. Scourge coming through, and they are going to connect, taking out another Corsair, but I mean, there's still 4 left over, and there's no mutas. Well, basically no mutas here.
Yeah, 3 mutas left over. Ty2's trying to transition into taking 3 bases. He's finally started droning. But now is it time for Bonyth to go? He should know at this point. He's killed so many mutas, so many E-Links. Just instant GG from Ty2.
Yeah, I think that was kind of inevitable. At this point, you're just too far behind. I like that he at least tried to expo behind it, but letting those zealots in to just see everything was like so confusing to me. Like you just stop them on the ramp with the Zergling concave, and I don't know. Well, either way, Bonyth is so good. His zealots are so scary. They did so much damage. Oh my god. And that puts Bonyth up 1-0 in this best of 5.
Yeah, and I don't even think we got to see what Ty2 or Bonyth really wants to pull out in the series. We saw initial openers, but I don't think that was a telltale sign of what we're going to see in the rest of the series. So I wonder what we've got planned for Gladiator, because that's more of a standard map that we see on the ladder.
I mean, I would say that Bonyth's worst matchup is PvZ. I was talking to Young Kicks the other day, and he was talking to me about like some loss streaks that different players have in BSL, and Bonyth has the second highest Zerg, like loss against Zerg streak. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but he lost 4 games in a row versus Zerg at one point in STPL. Obviously, he hasn't always been super good. He kind of practices a lot, and then a little, and then a lot, and a little, whatever. But Gladiator is a very standard map, so you probably know your way around this. He does have low ground mains, so maybe that could come into play, especially maybe some Muta. I don't know. I just want to watch these players play. And hopefully for Ty2, he's able to kind of bring it back and make this a close series. Obviously, Bonyth is a strong favorite, but Ty2 can make anything happen. So let's see what's going to happen. Let's get into Gladiator for our second game in this best of 5 between Nyoken. Or why did I just read your? I was reading your name on the screen. I was like, okay, Nyoken's not playing. He's casting. This is between Bonyth and Ty2 on Gladiator. All right, here we go in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, Gladiator. In the orange as Zerg, it's our American player Ty2.
In the top right, we've got the red Polish Protoss. It is Bonyth. And thinking back to the bans, banning Multiverse, I think that was a good ban if Bonyth banned it, because maps like Multiverse, where you got to defend a lot of locations and you know Ty2 likes to drop, that would probably be an instant ban for me. But Gladiator is kind of the same thing. There's so many places to drop, and you have to defend the front and the... We've seen a lot of games specifically with Bonyth and DeWalt against Ty2 on this map. I don't know if you remember this, but I think one of the more recent games between them,
Let's go Bonyth.
Ty2 went for a fake drop, sent all the overlords into the main, and then just busted the front. So this is a dangerous map for Bonyth.
Yeah, for sure. There's just so many ways that you can die. I think Ty2 especially. You mentioned drop, but he was already trying to go what I guess was one base 2 hatch Muta in that first game. So already trying to mix things up a little bit. I don't know if that's like a build, but it didn't look like a build that game. Now, this is going to be the same scout after Gateway, but it's an earlier Gateway. I think it was a 10 gate this time around.
Yeah, again, we have a 1 base gate so far. Again, we're waiting to see if it's 2 gate or if it's gas. It looks like it's going to be 2 gate. And I'm starting to wonder, is this just Bonyth's response to Ty2's playstyle? Because when you start playing like this, all of a sudden, you're in control of the flow of the game. It's Zerg responding to you, as opposed to when we see the Forge expand, it's Protoss responding to the Zerg. So I think this is a nice switch up when you're facing someone like Ty2, but that may not be the game plan. It may just be what Bonyth prepared, but so far been working out very well. And again, Ty2 with a 12 hatch, this time at a normal location.
Yes, this hatchery can mine minerals. I guess the other hatchery could have had minerals mined to it, but it just would have taken a little bit longer. So I like that at least Ty2 is doing 2 base or 2 hatch. I think 2 hatch is kind of what was the word we used yesterday? En vogue, yeah. These days, especially 2 hatch Muta. But I mean, to just go 2 hatch Muta against the Protoss without, oh my God, is he really not going to kill this probe? Are you kidding me? Okay, all right, justice is done, but still, how do you kill a drone like that? He almost saved the probe too. What a god.
Yeah, killing a drone, massive at this point in the game. This is not, well, I mean, it's massive versus Terran too, but specifically versus a race that has to balance their econ. This is devastating. Here comes the first zealot already. Didn't even care about the natural, just waltzes in. He may get a second drone already. Oh, there
he gets it. I think he's gonna get a third drone here if he autos this one. Nope, it's a little bit too fast. But there's 2 more zealots on the way. So the drone's running to the natural. I don't know if the natural's where you want to be, my man. Or my drone, I guess. I'm not trying to be specious here, but that drone is not gonna have a good time here. Neither will the other drone. Well, let's see about these zealots, because you know I would always be a little bit hesitant about running into either a bunch of zerglings or even drones with zealots, but and Bonyth just never glitch out. They always use both their side blades. Very, very strong here. And so Ty2 is once again having to produce so many zerglings to combat this.
Yeah, it's 5 zealots. Oh, he's going to catch a few lings on the side. And how many lings do we have left? Just 12. 12 versus 5 zealots. I'm not sure if the lings even win this fight, but he does have lings coming from the back. This is not a good surround. Look at half the lings not able to deal damage.
Oh no. Half the zerglings were doing nothing there, and all the zealots survive. Most of them have basically full health. The zerglings are starting to go down. He saved 4 out of 5 zealots, 2 of them with single-digit HP. Bonyth, come on. Come on.
How does this happen? Every time we watch Bonyth zealots fight, it's like they're the perfect angle. How do you lose 1 zealot versus first 15 lings? Now finally the second one goes down, but the hatchery's about to die, and then we're gonna have essentially 1 larva or 1 hatch production because the third hatch is so far away you can't even get them back to your main.
Oh yeah. Man, you ever have like a bad breakup? I'm talking like a 90s breakup where it just like it hurts you in the feels. You turn on your favorite cassette tape of Simple Plan and you play that "How Could This Happen to Me" song. That's what Ty2's listening to right now. He's just like, come on, how could I get this unlucky? In reality, it's mostly just Bonyth being so good. Yeah, that's just what are you gonna do? Like, GG. Ty2 taps out, and this might be a fast night of BSL. I may make it to bed on time after all.
I mean, that was a stomp, and it wasn't like Bonyth 9-9 and was all in. He had a Nexus building, so he had twice as many probes, and at the end, he had 3 zealots left over. How many zealots, or how many lings do you think he killed? It was like at least 30 with 7 zealots. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a fair and balanced number there, Nyokin. I can really tell that when they were trying to make Protoss and Zerg as races in the development of Brood War, they really... Okay, all right, got it in the end. They really thought about the number of Zerglings that should be able to beat a certain number of Zealots. And they're like, maybe 31. Ty2 didn't have it. Of course, the micro is actually so sick. I don't know, it's like Bonyth treats Zealots like they're ranged units almost, and he'll just like attack with just the tippity tip of the side blade and then pull back. He makes the Zealots seem like they have like Halo swords instead of just side blades. Like they're way too strong.
It's just him always getting into the perfect position. There was a point where I thought, okay, well, if he gets on top of the ramp, it's Gladiator. He's got the inverted ramp, he's gonna have high ground, and then how does the Lings ever get up? But he didn't get there, so I thought Ty2 was in a good spot. But then he had that hatchery to limit surface area. Just crazy.
Well, I'm ready to go for game number 3 because let's just say this may be the last game of the night. Bonyth's on match point, and he is bibbity bopping it. How many gateways does it take to unscrew a Ty2? And the answer is apparently 2. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe this is like Rumpelstiltskin, and he's giving away the secret to the number of gateways that you need to beat him in with the 2 in his name. I don't know. But Bonyth's big brain in it. Let's get into the next game. It's on ground 0, so maybe a little bit of a different style here. Let's see if Ty2 can bring it back. How dare you reveal the replay timer bar for 1 second, 0. God. Just when we thought the production value is No, big thanks to Zero behind the scenes for doing all the research or all the observing and production. Do you wonder why things look so good? It's because Zero's back there making it happen. We just get to be the people in front making it look good. That's what we're doing. In the upper left-hand, wait, are we? I thought we were introing the Zerg player first. Okay, in the upper left-hand corner, in the oh, let me switch the colors. In the red, as Zerg from America, it's Ty2.
And in the bottom right, we've got the Protoss from Poland, and he's looking deadly.
BSL is back.
Bonyth, and this is going to be a gateway expand. This time, forward gate, and this may actually be a 9-9 gate. And if Ty2's having trouble stopping a 10-12 gate, can't imagine him stopping a 9-9 gate. So already I'm a bit worried.
I'm waiting for that 10 supply. No. It is just going to be the gateway on 9. Well, okay, he was a little bit slow there, but... oh, no, he wasn't. Never mind. Yeah, gateway on 9. Ooh, it's not going to be 9-9, but it's close. I think Bonyth's starting to figure out correctly that all you need to do is just hit with a bunch of Zealots early, and Ty2 just doesn't seem to be able to out micro.
I'm actually somewhat surprised that we just didn't see the same build again, because it's really just Bonyth just total control of the flow of the game. Now, he's still going to have control of the game with this gateway expanse. Probably, I'm going to guess, his favorite build because we see him do it so often. And again, 12 hatch from Ty2, and this drone is going out. It's making me think that this may actually even be 3 hatch before pool. But I don't know if that's even a thing. That would be like insanely risky versus someone like Bonyth. Okay, there's the pool in the main. Yeah, I don't know. That would be crazy.
I mean, I still think it's crazy. Like, look, you haven't been able to survive to do anything, Ty2. Like you gotta, like, I don't know. I would have liked to see like a very early pool, try to really get in there and surprise Bonyth, especially if you spawn in a location that he doesn't scout first. And currently, Bonyth's not doing that. He does see exactly what's going on here, sees the pool timing, the natural, and well, I guess this Zerg or the drone is going to be a little bit lost out on the map. I thought he was going to make that 3rd hatchery like you mentioned, but thankfully, he's holding off on that for a little bit.
Well, this is, at least is ideal spawns for Ty2, because the Bonyth Zealot has to travel a very long distance. He does confirm that it is only 1 gate this time, so he should be able to respond with an appropriate amount of links. So far, 4 coming out. 3rd hatch is at mid left, and Bonyth is expanding behind it, playing pretty much standard. And again, look at this. This is something we saw last time. Forge in the main. And this I do like versus someone like Ty2 who is hyper aggressive and will pick off that forge very easily.
Yeah, and then he walls with the cyber core, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I actually do kind of like that. The only problem is that I think one game we saw that it didn't actually work out. He like lost the cyber core and then couldn't build dragoons when he needed to and had to rebuild that in his main. Maybe I'm misremembering that. I'm remembering an alternate timeline, but this is kind of a cool way to do it. It does protect that, so you're guaranteed to get that +1 upgrade done, which obviously for Bonyth is a big deal because his Zealots are already scary enough without it.
Yeah, and the Zealot really didn't get much damage done. The probe instantly died. Very nice round with these links. He's trying to get at least 1 drone. That's not bad. Is he going to find the 2nd hurt drone? He just ran by it.
I guess he like wasn't clicking on it. I don't know, but the Zealot's going to die anyway. Not bad to take a drone with him because it's still only 10 drones so far. Bonyth doubling up Ty2 and workers right now.
Yeah, but he will be able to catch up since he does have 3 hatchery production, and we do have cybernetics going down for Bonyth. What does he want to transition into? Are we going to see standard Stargate, or are we going to see what we see more often these days, the Citadel? And this is a lot of links for Ty2, like a ton of links. He knew it was 1 gate, yet he continued to make links. And look, he's sharking around the side. He does have speed halfway done. He's making more. So Ty2 down 2-0 is just going to go for a link bust, but we already have 1 cannon, a complete wall. He's going to have 3 Zealots. I don't know if this is really going to work out for him.
Yeah, this is the problem. The Overlord is not in position to see really what the wall looks like right now. He's got 2 Overlords in the main, and unfortunately that is not worth 1 in the bush. Wait, is that how it goes? I don't remember the saying. But the idea is he doesn't know what's going on at the front because that's going to be very hard to bust.
Well, he has so many lings that he could potentially attack the Zealots and burst down one of the buildings at the same time. And one cannon is really not a lot of support for the Zealot. Sure, a Zealot hit plus a cannon is going to kill a Ling if they're all synced up, but this is a lot of Lings, and I actually think Ty2 might be able to bust through here. He needs to make sure that he doesn't show this before okay, he's just going to go.
Yeah, here we go. What is this, a campaign mission? So many Zerglings and poor probes, they can't repair the wall. Now there is a cannon and some of the Zealots are getting hits off, but a bunch of them are not actually moving that much. Now, trying to finally break through the wall, he gets both buildings down. The probes are starting to fall. The Zerglings stand alive. They get on the cannon in the back. The cannon's dropping so low, but the Zerglings all go down. They can't kill off the wall, and an instant rewall here by Bonyth.
And unfortunately for Ty2, I think he was supply blocked during the attack. If these Lings were already across the map being able to reinforce faster, I think he would have actually just won. But now with the Sim City already set up, I don't think he's going to be able to bust through, especially now that we have 2 cannons. And Bonyth, I'm surprised, hasn't put down a 3rd cannon, but actually Ty2's transitioning out of it. But look at this, Bonyth already has 4 gates in his main that I didn't see, so he's got a bunch of Zealots coming out pretty soon. Oh, but he just canceled the cybernetics or something at the front.
Wait, what? Wait. Oh my god. It's the 8th all-in that kills you. I mean, yeah, just run by. It's also not tight because it's a pylon instead of the cyber core. He gets on the cannon, kills it instantly. Wait, what? Did Bonyth just throw here? Oh my god. Now, obviously, he's got very scary Zealots that are out. The probes are pretty scary themselves. That's a lot of Zerglings, and the wall's not tight. More Zerglings slipping in.
Yeah, but luckily for Bonyth, if he can survive, he's going to have +1 weapon kick in on his Zealots pretty soon. And we see that Ty2 is heavily committed. Despite having 4 hatch now, the drone count is still below the probe count. So once the Zealots hit +1, and they're even going to have speed pretty soon. I actually think Ty2's got to make magic happen right now. Otherwise, Bonyth is still going to at least be in this game. But the Zealots are falling. They don't have the greatest angle to fight.
Yeah, and I mean, Zergling speed just makes this so much better. A lot of Zealots going down. The Zerglings, though, I think what Bonyth realizes that even if he's trading Zerglings for Zealots for Zerglings, it doesn't matter at this point because he has 4 gates, and the Nexus International is still alive and kicking.
Yeah, but the one thing Bonyth doesn't have going for him is his mineral count is extremely low. Can't even afford cannons at this point. He didn't get the Templar Archive. Imagine if he had Templar Archive done and just built 1 DT. Then he could just hold position on the ramp, keep the Lings at the bottom, and then just deal with them there. But I don't know. Is there a gap? There's no gap. So that's still pure Ling versus +1 Zealots, but the gateway's possibly going to go down. Bonyth obligated to try and fight, and I think the Zealots are just too strong.
Yeah, they've got this +1 just crazy against these unupgraded Lings. He was trying to sneak by and actually did get a couple of Zerglings through to kill off a couple of the Zealots there, but he just has so many Zealots popping out so frequently that the Zergling count just cannot get across the map fast enough. Man, the Zerglings are still coming. This is 4 hatch Speedling all in, but when does it end?
Yeah, this may actually be too many Lings. The 4 hatch production, it's still Lings. If you check all the hatches, just nonstop Lings rallied. And unfortunately, this 1 gate that pops out the Zealot on the other side is really hurting Bonyth. Every Zealot is so crucial, and now he's lost his wall. Now he doesn't have the Sim City. He definitely needs to pull probes at this point because there's just so many Lings constantly flooding.
Yeah, this is a lot of +1 Zealots, so don't get it twisted. He's still going to be able to have this cannon come up, and cannon with Zealots surrounding it, that's pretty good. He's got some nice surface area here too, but that's a lot of Lings, Nyoken. Oh my dog, that's incredible. He's going to get on the cannon in the back. He's actually not hitting the cannon. The Zealot count is actually dropping surprisingly quickly, even with the Ling number, but the Lings are falling fast. The cannon survives. I think Bonyth is, he's doing okay.
Yeah, I don't know how he held that, but he needs to get up a gateway or something. He's desperately trying to hold this cannon. Look at it.
See him plug that. Oh, the hole. He's going to hold here. The cannon goes down, but I don't even think that matters, man. What? Do you see him move those Zealots to perfectly block the hole the Lings were trying to move in?
Yeah, it's just crazy. And now we have 6, 7 Zealots plus probes versus really not a lot of Lings. Lings are kind of just bleeding. They're just rallied. They're not really focusing anything important, getting probes. But Bonyth's so confident. He saw 1 drone and he realized hey, you're droning now. Time to go. Oh no.
I may agree with Ty2 on that expert analysis there, because man, he really tried to go for it. Bonyth, he's too rock solid. He had a zealot at the third base, or a probe at the third base, something that scouted the ling speed as soon as it finished. He's like, wait a second. And it tipped him off. He got the wall up and he just desperately held on. Ty2 was so close to bust in there, but that's not going to make him feel very good. Bonyth with a 3-0 speed runs his way to the round of 4.
Yeah, it's just no vulnerabilities in the early game versus Bonyth. Like, how he closed that hole at the end with the one cannon and it survived with what, like 10 health, that was nuts. And I do think Ty2 did have a chance to win the game with at that point in the game where he was supply blocked and couldn't reinforce more, the initial bust. But because of that, it was so close still regardless. But I think that was the really only mistake that Ty2 made in that all-in.
And you got to remember games 1 and 2, right? Like, those games also still had some of their issues. But unfortunately, that's going to do it. Bonyth with a 3-0 on Oxide Gladiator in Ground Zero advances on, and well, we lost our American hero Ty2, but we've still got the American representative in Jaeyoon in the upper bracket, or not the upper bracket, in the first semifinal. But now we have our last semifinal coming up next, and that is going to be potentially a similar situation, because we have another clear favorite, another BSL champion in Eon Zerg coming up, and he will be taking on Babo, who is another kind of underdog. It's his first showing here in the round of 8, just like it was Ty2's first showing in the round of 8. So a very similar matchup, but this one coming up is going to be a ZVZ, and there's going to be not only that game coming up, but also winners interviews coming up. So if you guys are ready, let's interview Father Bonyth on stream. Bonyth. Okay, welcome, Bonyth. Congratulations. First of all, I want to say congratulations on winning your game, but I also understand that you have brought another Protoss player into this world recently.
Yeah, so first, congratulations for winning and then for becoming a father, okay. But
yeah we got to have your priorities straight, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. You're really kind of doing it all. Like, I wish I struggle to like play the game and cast the game, but also you have a real life and are doing things there too. Congratulations. But let's talk about the games tonight. How good are Zealots, Bonyth?
Yeah, they are pretty good if Zerg is not in the correct position. Yeah,
so what was your plan? Just go 2-gate every game and really just try to put pressure on Ty2?
Yeah, so I'm playing against Ty2, and I'm like, okay, I know you're gonna mind trick me, play your games. No, I'm not letting that happen. I just go gateways and I force you to reveal your cards, show them to me, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the perfect strategy versus Ty2, because he always likes to be in control of the game. So I love that you went for that. But I got to know, because we've seen it twice in a row now, what's the reasoning for the Forge in the main? I have the theory that you don't want +1 picked off, but I need the Protoss insight.
Yeah, I'm gonna always choose Forge in the main over Forge in my wall, but there are some conditions to it. So if basically Zerg cannot semi all in me from the start with Zerging. So if a passive at the beginning with like 12 hatch or maybe eco overpull like 2 links or something, then okay, I'm gonna build Forge in my main. So this way my +1 is completely safe and I'm in no danger. I can put a cybernetic core by the time Zerg actually sees that there is a hole and maybe decides to all in.
Yeah, see, I think that's genius, because I've never seen a pro do it on stream. So I actually think maybe one of the pros will copy Bonyth. like it's so crazy. I've never seen that. So
we're gonna call that a Bonyth Forge from now on.
Forge. I just had something else. Oh, 973 is so popular these days. Do you think it's as Imba as people say, or is Protoss going to figure it out in the next couple of weeks? Or months?
Well, it's an addition to Zerg. They have so many options to keep Protoss with, and this is just another to deal with, and it is just so disgusting that we have even such a thing to deal with. But yeah.
So you managed to 3-0 Ty2 and advance on to the semifinals. Now coming up, you have to face the winner of either Babo or Eon Zerg. I'm going to ask the obvious question, but which one would you rather face?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna choose Babo. So my finger's gonna be crossed for Babo. Go Babo, win against Eon Zerg.
All right, so you got to give Babo some energy. Now, there's a lot of Bonyth fans out there after your dominant performance winning the Corrupted Cup. After winning the Corrupted Cup, how did you feel? Did you feel like you were just like the strongest player in the world, or was it actually really scary? Because it looked like you were really dominant there.
Yeah, with my first game, especially against Hawk, basically best of one groups, that was so scary, man. And he's playing Zerg, and he is doing the 9-7-3. That's the scariest of all. But yeah, I think I talked to someone that if I get past the round of 24, then it's gonna get easier, and it definitely did from there on. So yeah, while in Corrupted Cup, I had my road filled with Terrans basically from quarter finals, semifinals, and finals. So, and in BSL, it's gonna be Zerg, just completely reverse.
Yeah. So now, before we go to a break, I just want to ask you if you have anything to say to all the Bonyth fans out there.
Oh yeah, I'm fighting for Ira, and I'll keep doing my stuff, and I'm gonna just amaze you further.
Yeah. So cheer for him so he can show good games. I think that was the last part of the interview. So thank you so much for that interview, Bonyth. Congratulations on advancing on to the semifinals. I think we're about to head off to a quick commercial break. So don't go anywhere. We've got the second semifinals between Babo and Eon Zerg coming up next as we close out the round of 8 in tonight's BSL.
Go Babo.